What does training mean to you? Let's talk about that. Welcome to the Patriot Training YouTube channel. My name is Clay Howell. I'm the owner and head firearms instructor at Patriot Training. The purpose of this video is to go over something I recently read on social media and just do a little bit of a deep dive on what training means to you. Recently on social media, I read a post by another firearms school, and the essence of this post, he says, during a recent class, they had a student tell me what they do for a living, and that the people there that weren't doing firearms for a living were all Larping. And he said, in his words, what's funny is most of these LARPers in their advanced class could outperform most regular government training, whether it be law enforcement or even, he put 11 Bravo to mean infantry, particularly for the Army. And folks, that's my observation as well. I've seen plenty of current former law enforcement in classes, current former military, and generally speaking, they are in the lower third of performers in the class. Not always. One good shout out I've got to give on this, a couple of guys that did just fine. My buddy Billy Jones, who's certified Patriot Training assistant instructor, has helped us out on a couple of things. U.S. Army Cav Scout, dude squared away. My buddy Terry Couts, he was 13 Foxtrot forward observer in the Army National Guard. He was squared away, pretty decent shooter. James Howard, Patriot Training assistant instructor as well, 11 Bravo, captain, infantry, Army National Guard. He's squared away. And for those three, I've got dozens that weren't. And I say that very respectfully. And the reason why is because the training, government-issued training, is always to meet a minimum qualification standard. And the vast majority will just meet that minimum or struggle to meet that minimum. And so when you get people in a class that want to be there, pay money to be there, and that's their interest, you're going to see that you have their attention a lot easier, and they're going to pay attention to those details, and they are going to be more inclined to get better at that skill than someone who feels that that skill is beneath them or too easy or what have you. And that's what causes a lot of the thoughts of, these people saying a civilian shouldn't teach firearms classes. Well, that's mistaken. I know multiple civilians that teach firearms classes, and they do just fine. We want to do it. Just because you were good in the infantry or good in law enforcement does not mean you're a good teacher, and vice versa. So, should you call that LARPing? I don't really care. Live action role play. There are people that LARP, like with medieval times and costumes and things like that. Awesome. You do you. That's really cool. I actually get it because a little bit closer to home, there's people that LARP like sci-fi, and I'm a huge Star Trek fan, Star Wars fan. I like all that stuff. I've never gone to those conventions or anything, but I wouldn't put it out of my mind. I'm just too busy. I would go otherwise. I'd love the opportunity to go to one of those. So is that LARPing? Yeah, of course that's LARPing. And you know what? It's fun. It's an outlet for people. It's absolutely a great recreational outlet. And firearms don't have to always be deadly serious. We do approach all of our classes at Patriot Training from the mindset of self-defense. However, it always being deadly serious is going to wear you out mentally. It's going to exhaust you. So, there are many people that train because it's absolutely fun. Many, many times in a training class, I will take a training class to have fun. That is recreation for me. And that's no different than one of these people that puts on a Star Wars costume and goes to a Star Wars convention. That perfectly fine thing. Some people spend a lot of money on a PlayStation and play video games. There's some people that spend a whole lot of money on these metal sticks and little balls, and they hit that into a hole from 200 yards away. Hey, you do you. There's so many activities a human being can do, and I know that the word LARPing has a negative connotation. I really just don't buy that. I think live action role play LARPing, I think that's a very positive outlet for the vast majority of people who do it. So can it be misused? Yeah, anything can be misused, of course. But make no mistake, just because they're a civilian taking gun classes, they don't. I've seen over 2,000 people come through the doors at Patriot Training, and the vast majority were not military law enforcement. Military law enforcement, current former, account for less than 5% of the student base, and all the rest are civilian. And not one of these people believes he's playing Rambo dress up. The vast majority don't even wear camouflage to the range for the classes unless it's called for in the class, and not a one of us pretends that we're doing anything military or law enforcement oriented when we get there. If there's something that we do that resembles or mimics what the military does, we call it out and we give the source and where we learned it and everything like that. It's not LARPing, and it's not playing pretend. It's studying something for the purpose of studying it, because there is a lot to be said about doing that recreationally and doing that, just in case you need to.
All shooters are ready. Countdown begins. I have control. I have control. I have control. And in 5, 4. Bitchin'. I have control. I have control. I have control. And in 5, 4. Woo. Glorious, my friends. One more time. I have control. I have control. I have control. And in 5, 4.
So I ask you, is getting training LARPing? What do you say? I say yes, and I don't think there's a negative connotation to LARPing. So I say yes, and I mean that in a positive way. I mean, it's absolutely live action role play. You're putting yourself in the role of somebody who needs to do self-defense, and you're learning how to do that effectively. Do some people take a gun class and they're playing pretend? I'm sure it's happened. I've never seen it, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened. So, maybe. Are these people fulfilling some childhood fantasy? Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't think I've ever met anybody who was. But hey, if it does, awesome, cool. That's great. My childhood fantasy was to have a real working lightsaber. So if that ever happens, we ever create one, you know what I'm going to be getting, right? But yeah, tell me what you think down in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tell me about it. Love to hear from you. Hit like, hit subscribe, click that notification bell so that you can find out when the next Patriot Training video is dropping. And I must remind you, you don't have to be a Patriot to train, but you do have to train if you want to be a Patriot. Take care.